Good morning. I was going to do a little bit of trace routing here to demonstrate ICMP traffic in another class. And what I noticed was that I don't have traceroute for some reason in this Cali distribution. So I wanted to take a minute to just discuss this, and we'll see if we can solve this problem. Uh, okay, so first of all, I want to go in and verify my traceroute command, and it should be in Windows traceRT. Okay, yeah, so there we go. TraceRT in Windows is the appropriate traceroute command, and in Linux it should be traceroute. And so in this particular Kali distribution, I also don't have traceroute. So that's pretty interesting that I don't have that here. But anyway, this is my Windows subsystem for Linux, so I could get it there. But what I want to do is to go grab it over here. I'm running a virtual machine with Kali Linux in it, and just to give you a little tour of my setup, I just have a VM. I'm actually running, this is Wireshark. And I'd give you a kind of a setup of the problem. I was sitting here with Wireshark open, and all of a sudden, I noticed that there was some activity, and I didn't do anything. And so I was like, wow, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because all I was running was Wireshark and a terminal window. That's it, nothing. And I wasn't running a browser or anything. So I said, hey, that's interesting. What happened here? And so I clicked on this DNS request, and I noticed that there was a query made, and that query was to a URL called safebrowsing.googleapis.com is the website that it was looking for. And then I see just milliseconds later, 281 to be exact, a little bit high, but I'm running a VM. I see, here's my response. Safe browsing, and I got a whole nice little DNS request or DNS response for this website, and then boom, what do we see? Almost immediately, a connections made to that URL. And so my thought is, I want to take a look at that safe browsing and just to really get an idea of what is it. And so I thought, well, I'll just do a trace route. And lo and behold, I come over here, should do that. The command should be traceroute. And notice I get a response from my bash shell. Traceroute command not found. So the first thing that I decided to do was to figure out, did I really have, was it installed under a different name? Maybe the program has a different name, right? And so how do you do that? How do you figure out, number one, whether or not you have a program installed? Number two, maybe it's installed under a different name. So the first thing I wanted to do was use this autocomplete function of the shell. Now, autocompletion is a function of the shell. The different shells handle it different ways. The bash actually has a very robust autocompletion feature. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in tr and press tab twice, and now I get all the commands that start with tr. And I know what the tr command is. It's translate. I don't necessarily know what all these other commands are because I've never necessarily used them. True, I could use it in actually writing shell scripts. But so here's what I'm going to do. I see that I don't have a traceroute command, but I'm gonna be a little more judicious in my search. I'm gonna use a command called apropos, and apropos is it actually will search through command libraries, and it will find commands that uh, have the words in the title. So the only command that I have that traces routes is AS-traceroute, Autonomous System Traceroute Utility, which is not exactly the one that I want to use. The traceroute utility that I want to use actually will utilize ping commands, just ping the host. So I don't have that. So instead of just blindly typing in a package, what I'm going to do is go ahead and search the repository. And so again, this is a feature of aptitude. Now notice that I'm sitting here and I'm still scanning traffic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that. But this is just an example sometimes of how we can uh, we can fall into rabbit holes. I need this to install that. I need that to install this. And then we get into a hair pull-out loop. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do an aptitude cache search. Now, let me just explain this exactly. So when I'm working with my system, and I use aptitude as the package manager, it actually has a list of repositories that it looks at, and those repositories are located on the internet, and they have caches associated with them. And so I'm going to go ahead and first of all do an aptitude apt-get update, and I probably need to do a sudo before I do that. Now, notice that each one of these URLs, these are actually repositories. And so it's going to go out and it's actually downloading lists of packages. And it is going to give me an error. It's very frustrating sometimes. In this case, I probably need to update my GPG key. Hash some mismatch. The reason why probably is because I don't have the right key. So I'm going to go ahead and do that stands for GNU Privacy Guard. Okay, it's already installed. So just to give you some information about what's happening here, is I have gone in and downloaded, in this case, and we're just gonna parse this log because this is actually quite informative. And so here we go. In this GET request, I've gone out to this URL, and I have actually asked it to fetch me the index file for the repository Kali-rolling/main and AMD64 and packages. So I got 3 repository that I'm requesting. And the file size on that is 17.7 megabytes. So what has happened here is after it has downloaded this data, it is actually doing a hash, and that is where we dump all the data from that we received into a hashing function, and we're receiving some information. Now, what we've done is we've actually dumped this into 3 different hashing functions. In this case, this is the secure hashing algorithm 256. It should give us a 256-bit key. Secure hashing algorithm 1, it gives us another key, and then we have a MD5, which is another hash. And then this is what we are looking for, and then this is what we got. So what it's telling us is that there is a mismatch on that particular hash. If we compare these numbers, we'll see that they are probably different on at least one. Let's see. The MD5 looks to be the same. It is the SHA1 key that's different. So when we look at that key and we compare it to this key, they are different. And that is interesting. It's very interesting that we have 3 different keys. So here's something that's interesting, but the received file size is the same, 177.40261. I do not know what makes this say weak. I haven't looked that up. Not sure why. I'm not sure what would be the reason for it to say something besides weak. Just I don't know. But the interesting thing is the SHA1 hash is different, but the MD5 and SHA256 hashes are the same. So that's probably where it failed. Anyway, it looks like that number 3, when we updated these repositories, it was successful. It didn't return any errors when it did the hash, and then it looks like on 4 there was an error. It did not get everything. There was another hash mismatch. And I'm looking at this hash here. And it looks like the similar thing. This SHA1 hash was different. So I did get some of the caches. I did not get all of them. It's, because this aptitude is going through several, you want all these to actually be successful. So the fact that they are not all successful would give me pause as an administrator. I want to go and actually try and trace that down. This would be something that I would definitely decide to spend time on if Now, an interesting decision point I think about this is if I was using a system that is just a VM, I may decide that it's possible that I would rather not spend my time on this problem, right? So that's one thing that you have to look at is do I want to spend time on this problem? It may be easier for me to say, I don't care about this, or I don't want to waste my time on this issue. So one of the things about actually really administering a system is kind of making a determination of whether or not it's something that you want to pursue, or whether or not it's worth your time to do so. Now, realistically, there's a couple different ways I could proceed here. I could go into the list of repositories, and this is just a text document. So I could go in and go into this list and just remove the entry that's generating the error. That could be that could be the way to go. I don't know, but here's what I'm going to do. But even though I had a failure, I'm still going to try and install Traceroute. So super user do apt-get install. You got to type it right. Sorry about my clicky keyboard. I could not find Traceroute. That's very interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to do a cache search. And this is another reason why, I may not want to use Kali Linux for my everyday OS needs. It's because there are packages here that I just don't need them. I don't necessarily need to have code bases that show me these things. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and do another search, but instead of searching for Traceroute, I'm just gonna search for trace. Now I've expanded my search results a little bit. And I'm going to do a little Google search because I don't think that I've ever actually installed, I had to install Traceroute before. What repo, or I'm going to ask what package is Traceroute located in? Let's look here. So I'm not sure where I was at when I stopped, but I'm back. So I want to show you. I want to actually let you walk through this with me. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're going to try it. But essentially, I found someone else who's having this error, and so with the and so let me go back and reiterate this when I try to update my aptitude package. with that command update. I go through the process of downloading the information. I get a mismatch on my secure hash algorithm 1. It is a different one than what I received. And so here's my troubleshooting process so far. I went into the etc apt folder, and I looked at the sources list, which is where the packages are, and I went to this link right here. Do you see where it says C, and then there's a link here? I went to that actual website to see what was the actual repository, and it gave me this information. So I know that my repository, when my aptitude package manager goes out and updates itself, I know that it's going to the right thing. So there's some reason why this particular thing is failing. And so I did a little bit of searching online, and I found a Stack Exchange entry of a person who basically created a gcrypt folder, and and so he tried this, and actually someone had success in resolving this error. So I wanted to take you through what this is doing, and we'll see if it works for us in this case. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making a directory under my etc folder called gcrypt. I'm echoing the word all to a file called hwf.deny. Now this looks like some type of filter rule, and then I'm trying to run the update. So I'm not doing anything like totally crazy. I'm just creating a file in there in that folder. So I'm good, and plus I'm in a VM, so I'm feeling pretty confident that I can go try this and not totally screw something up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and you know, I'm not running on a live system per se. Although at this point, here's an advantage of running a VM. I could make a snapshot of this VM and completely take a snapshot of where I am right now. And so I could, if something happened that was bad, the beautiful thing about a VM is that I could always delete my running instance and restore from my snapshot, and I'm back to where I was. So that's cool. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to, as root, right, sudo bash. I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. Maybe didn't work. Okay, I don't think I have a root account. Okay, sudo, I always say sudo. Okay, sudo. Let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that was good. Okay, and then I'm going to make the directory gcrypt. I'm going to send the word all into a brand new file. That's my redirector. And that brand new file is located, now it's important that I don't make a typo here, okay? The brand new file is located in a file called hwf.deny. And I'm going to go ahead and exit. And I want to verify that that file is actually there. So I'm going to, yeah, there's my file. I'm going to go ahead and look at it real quick. Okay, okay, cd gcrypt. I didn't get into my folder. Now I'm going to look at the file. It should say the word all on it. It does. Okay, is it going to work? Maybe. Here's what I did. I'm blocking something, right? So this is probably a workaround. If it works, uh, looks like it worked. Looks like it worked. Okay. Let's go ahead and do, instead of just installing the package, let's do an apt-cache search on Traceroute, because that's our original problem. Keep in mind, when you're doing this type of thing, you run down a rabbit hole and you're going to forget what your original problem was, which is the whole purpose of doing documentation in a logbook. Boom! Look at that. Now I actually have some stuff to search through. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and install Traceroute. So, whatever happened there is I blocked something, and we can go and find that out really quickly. What is HWF gcrypt? Apparently this is an issue. So this gets me back to the original thread. Disable hardware optimization on the gcrypt library. Yeah, but it actually worked. So apparently this is the mismatch. Okay, that makes sense. The mismatch of the hash is occurring because the original computation was done on real hardware, and my current computation is being done on a virtualized machine. So when I disable that, I am at that point changing the way it computes the hash. Totally makes sense in this case, because I'm not running any hardware. This is virtual. So that totally makes sense. Okay, that is the solution to a couple things. In this case, we have actually gone out and troubleshot our aptitude package manager, verified that we have the right sources in our sources list. We have blocked hardware computation in the gcrypt library that manages the keys, and we've updated Traceroute. So can we do a Traceroute? Boom. Heck yeah. You want to see it? You want to see it capture my data? Bet you do. Boom, what happened? Oh, look at that. Now we have some pings. We have some time to live exceeded, which is what we expect when we do a trace route. It's supposed to happen that way. Okay, problem solved. This is one 30-minute time slice, a day in the life of Linux system administration. You never know what you're going to see. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm uploading this video totally raw. The only thing that's not in here is when I was doing my Google searching for the gcrypt issue, which it was about 10 minutes. Um, anyway, it's important, I think, to see the real side of this. And the real side is basically system administration is either doing one or two things. It's encountering problems and solving them, and it's actually making sure services are operational, making sure data is where it needs to be. But get ready to solve problems. It can be exciting. So, like I said, never know what you're going to see. Hopefully, someone else has seen it, and also that brings up another point. What I should do in this process is I should go in and actually say it worked for me too, but multiple people have already answered this problem, so I shouldn't necessarily feel compelled to go in and. But if I did have an account here on this forum, I might flag this post because this is very informative as to what it did, what the solution was. So be a part of a community. Get involved, even if you're not spending a lot of time answering questions. By thinking this way, you can begin to be a contributor and not just a user. So thanks, everybody.